All right, welcome back to another edition of the podcast that nobody asked for.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Except, no, that's not at all true. We get phenomenal listeners. ratings. No, but we owe you all an apology first and foremost. We have been off the airwaves for 2 weeks. 2 weeks it has been since we have shared. No, 2 weeks.
We did do one last week, so.
No, it's been 2 weeks, babe.
No, it hasn't.
It has been
Well, look.
2 weeks.
Okay, we missed a week. So there's going to be a podcast. There's going to be a gap between our last podcast and this one of a week. Okay.
We missed 2 weeks. I apologise. It's not even about being busy because everybody's busy, right? I don't like that word, but we've all got full diaries. It's just that we have not had a moment to sit down and do this. And also, we actually have brought you lots of guests, and we know that you guys love our banter and when we come to you kind of together. So we were like, let's just do one together. And then when it's just us, we haven't prioritized it. But here we are.
So today we're going to talk about how to not strangle your significant other, or how to work from home effectively, as I like to call it.
He says with a devilish grin, because there's days where, not days, where I want to fucking
I'll be real honest with you. About 30 seconds before we started this podcast, that was one of those moments. But we figured we'd do this stuff because a lot of people are working from home right now.
Very on trend.
In this new corona normal.
If you ever say those two words together again.
What's that?
I will smack that beard off your face. I swear to God.
That's what they're saying in the media.
I don't care.
As we move towards a new corona normal.
Just
anyway, the point is,
warning number 2.
I get to say one more at some point in this podcast. The point is, like, a lot of people are working from home, and that represents challenges. And this is something that we've done for 6-7 years.
Well, you have done this for 6, I think now. It would be. Me, it's like 7.5.
Yeah, so working
and it was always my dream, like that, working from home, working for myself. I know, look, this isn't about if you work for yourself. So this isn't about if you're your own boss babe, which I am, but this is specific to anybody and everybody that is currently working at home, how to thrive working from home and not, I don't know, crash and burn, essentially.
Yeah, well, whatever you want to call it, everyone's got a different word for it. But I think a lot of people, there's definitely a romance on the surface to working from home. Like, people look at it and go, especially if you're stuck in an office job where you don't even have a fucking window, like I used to have, right? I didn't even have a window. Either. And you're like, it'd be great to work from home and, all this sort of stuff. But unless you're kind of really motivated, it can become a bit of a trap as well. And I remember when, a lot of people don't know that, before we did what we do now, I worked as an occupational health and safety manager for a company anyway.
He was that guy.
And we were looking at it at the time, and working from home was good for people who did analytical tasks. So if you had to break down a spreadsheet, people were super effective at doing it because they weren't distracted all the time. But if you've got a job, you've got to be creative. It's not ideal.
Yeah, bro. But then you go to a cafe and you sit amongst the greenery and the buzz.
Sorry, not if you've got a job that should be creative. If you've got a job that's like a service-based job, like customer service.
That doesn't even make sense.
What do you mean?
If you have a job that is customer service based, like serving coffees.
No, that's not customer service based. Like phones ringing, all that sort of stuff, right? Apparently it's not as ideal.
Apparently, but here we are in don't you say it, in a new world in 2020.
A new world.
In 2020. So with 7.5 years under my belt and 6 years under Morgan's, let's be honest, who's more productive and good at this?
Oh, look, I don't think that's a topic that's up for debate.
It's definitely me.
Look, I think I'll let our listeners decide. Okay, I don't want to put any thoughts in their heads about these things.
But the point is that we have a lot of collective experience between us. We've grown, but the business we earned our first 7 figures from home. We are mad ambassadors of it. So I wrote down for Morgan to read.
What? Oh, these
No,
notes.
but I put some notes because I wanted it to be as powerful or what's the word? Helpful as possible. Effective for you. Lots of value. So there's 6 key points to working from home.
And the first one's the biggest one. Because if you're talking about being effective, in order to be effective, you can't be burnt out all the time. And the most effective way to burn yourself out is not having boundaries around what is work and what is home life.
So number 1 is maintain regular hours.
Yeah.
And this is, I'm going to do we're going to stop, when we stop recording this, I'm going to jump off and do another one straight away around setting your schedule.
Yeah.
Because maintaining regular hours to me is all about scheduling.
And this is one that Anna Nash needs to work on, because Anna is a workaholic, right?
Yeah, my hobbies are work.
And I'm like Fred Flintstone. I'm like, the moment that's time to knock off, I'm yabba dabba doing down the stairs and I'm out of here.
You are Fred Flintstone all day.
Pretty much. But again, if you ask someone again who is like super like Anna's just on another level, but if you ask
But
someone
I
who's
set a schedule.
yeah, but
I
you don't
said-
often stick to it. Let's just be honest for
Yeah.
a moment.
Well,
Like, it's easy for you to be like, I've just got to go do some bullshit in the office and I won't see you till the next day. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
it's like,
I'm in an
it
amazing
could be 7:30 at
season.
night. We've had dinner and I'll be like, hey, we should watch a movie or something together.
Waste
right?
of time.
Yeah, I know.
Waste of damn
I know
time.
this. Everybody knows this, but that's part of what we're talking about here. But and you'll be like, yeah, look, I've just got to go upstairs and do this post. And it'll be like 9:30 and I'll be like, guess I'm just going to bed. Before you
No,
go
I'm in a very blessed season at the moment.
Yeah.
I'll say that. So,
Yeah.
no, but maintaining regular,
Hashtag blessed to be busy. Hashtag new COVID normal. That's my third one. I'm out.
that beard will be slapped off your face. So setting a schedule and sticking to it most of the time, I put most of the time in there because I am a failure at this sometimes because
Yeah.
I work too much for sure. Is there really such a thing though? Anyway, but having clear guidelines of when to work and when to call it a day, which I often do. So the electronic diary is scheduled.
Yeah.
You know my schedule. You know where what is. You know the calls. You know all the things. So maintaining regular hours, which sounds crazy because obviously if you are an employee working from home at the moment, you're like, well, yeah, I have to, but are you?
Yeah.
This is the thing. Are you taking the piss a little bit?
Well, I'm sure everybody
or
does.
are you overworking? Right? Like, are you actually putting in too much? Because
Are you giving
at
your
home,
company more than what they deserve?
right? Good question. So maintaining regular hours is number 1. Number 2, and this is super new to me, guys. And when I say new, I mean like probably in the last 3 years. So not 7.5, but actually getting dressed and ready for the day. So
Look, this happens to me all the time. It gets to like 6 at night.
Monks
I'm
is
still
not
in,
good.
I'm still in gym clothes.
You're
and
actually-
I was like, you stink.
Go shower, you stinkhole. No, but get dressed and ready for the day. Don't stay in gym clothes. Now, to be fair, why you can longer is you are more like the analytics guy and the
Yeah.
report guy, and I'm the Zoom girl. So
And to be fair, like I don't have as great an office as you. So I'm
don't.
kind of in the dungeon.
you are.
But that's changing. That's changing in the next week or
So
two.
get dressed and ready for the day. Now, again, I used to, one of the perks of working from home, right? It's like YOLO, you can work in your pajamas all day, or you can get showered, like go to the gym, get showered and get back into gym clothes. And I did that honestly for probably 4 years.
I think the key message here is to get showered at some point before you start work. All right.
No, absolutely. No, but and it sounds crazy. And just to give you a very strong example, today I let it get away from me like first thing in the morning. So I always say, if you control your day, don't let your day control you. Own your morning, don't let the morning own you, and then you'll have an amazing, extraordinarily successful life. Today, however, I was like, oh my gosh, I've got all these orders to put in. I had it was just a lot. I needed to do this thing. I needed to da-da-da-da. So I thought I'll just sit down at my computer when we walked in from the gym, made my superfood smoothie.
Yeah.
And I'll just get it done. Hey, I was like, I'll be like half an hour.
Yeah.
4 hours later, I was still in my sweaty gym clothes. And honestly, it just doesn't make you as productive. And I mean that.
Yeah.
So now, like 9 times out of 10, we get home from the gym. I have my morning ritual and I will come upstairs, as you know, get showered, fully get dressed, slap on a little bit of lippy or put on some mascara. When I say lippy, I mean like gloss for me. I'm still like 14. And then it's almost like a ritual. Like I walk into my office like I'd walk into an office, dressed and prepared and successfully ready for my day.
Yeah.
And when you do too, like you're looking good now.
Look, I'm just going to be on camera. I didn't do my hair though. Normally I wear a hat. Whatever, man. I work from home.
Number 3,
So set ground rules with the people in your space, right? So again, there can be a tendency sometimes. We don't have kids, but I'm sure, like, you know, there's issues there. If your kids need to go to daycare or whatever, obviously make sure that continues. It could be. I can see there being a tendency for people to want to be like, well, I'm home. I'll just keep the kids home, save a ton of money on childcare, right? And maybe not so much in Melbourne. I think a lot of childcare is still closed. Right, so maybe it's a bit different for you guys, but maybe you've got like a mother-in-law that just loves to, oh, you're at home, I'll just pop over, right? Those are the type of distractions. You've still got to have the same regiment in place as if you were going to a 9 to 5 or an
100%.
office and checking in and clocking out and doing whatever you have to do there. Having boundaries around, look, even if you've got to lock yourself in your bedroom, or your office or whatever it is.
And that's, we'll get to, there's a thing on that. But a 100%. Now, also, guys, if you are in the fun predicament where both of you were employees, partners in the household, and both are now, because of COVID or whatever happened in 2020, have found yourselves working at home together, you get to set ground rules. It's so important. And I did it the other day. I said to you, we're in separate spaces, but I actually said to you, don't text me, don't come in my office, don't distract me. For the next 2 hours, I am out of bounds.
Yeah, but what did you find when you actually did that though?
27 minutes. 27 minutes later, I did everything I needed to do. And I actually walked downstairs and Muggs is like, hey, what are you doing? You're meant to be here 2 hours. Yeah. I was like, I've done it.
Way more effective.
So set ground rules. And that's, so in my world, in our world, you don't get to just pop over midweek. Period.
Unannounced.
Yeah. This is our business, and we have set business rules, and we have rules, I suppose, with each other in the space. Yeah. Absolutely. So don't be afraid to respect yourself and set those rules and boundaries. Actually, this goes for network marketers as well. I'll preface this, like bonus tip. If you are a woman or a guy, but building a side hustle alongside a full-time job, this is so important, setting these rules. Like I used to say to you, like, don't get mad at me. I used to come home from work and I would work my ass off after work. So from like 6 till 10, 11, sometimes 12 o'clock at night. But I had set the ground rules with you and you really respected them because I respected them.
Yeah.
So that's another really important thing to have in your life if you're not just trying to work from home successfully, but also build your side hustle.
Okay. So that was set ground rules. The fourth one is actually scheduling breaks. And I mean, we could talk about just, you know, obviously that makes sense to take a break from work every now and then, right? But we know that when people take breaks and have a rest, come back, they're actually more productive and more effective. And we talked about it in other podcasts as well about things like that. Yep. I remember I gave an example about when I was playing guitar, I'd struggle with something to wrap my head around it or just make it work, take a break, come back, and it was just effortless, right?
Yeah.
I think if you're trying to create or solve a problem, it's the same idea. If you take breaks, you're going to be more productive. And this is something you need to do because we have our normal business, but you're working on a second one at the moment as well, right?
Yeah,
so it can be you've got a new project coming that you're going to launch, but obviously you're in the sort of startup phase of all that, and you can get lost in that, right? And forgetting, you know.
The thing that I'll do,
holy shit, like where'd the sunlight go, right?
Yeah. I think though, for me, with the scheduling breaks as well, allow it to be for whatever you need in your life. I don't, like, Claude's actually a beautiful bestie asked me the other day, she's like, when do you take breaks? And I was like, haha, what's a break?
Like, what time's Ellen on? I come down and have lunch. It's just one of those things. We have lunch downstairs and we pop the telly on when we eat and it's like Dr. Phil or Ellen.
You do. I did that once the other day and I loved it.
Don't even get started. Like, you learnt about that family the other day from America.
Yeah, I can't remember. On Dr. Phil. Dr.
Phil.
My thing is so I said to Claude, what's breaks? But, you know, because she's like, I have to leave the house multiple times a day. I need to go for walks. I need to do all this stuff. And for me right now, that's just not in the realm of reality for my season. No.
Take up smoking.
But what is taking a switched off lunch break. So I do actually leave my desk. Yeah. I make sure that I go downstairs. I prepare my lunch. I enjoy that moment. I usually sit outside, to be honest, on the couch.
Whatever.
I sometimes then will pick up my book again for a couple of pages. I let the wind, like I do take that break. So for me, it's not multiple breaks across the day, but I definitely take.
The important thing is that you take a break or two.
Yeah.
You know, because when you work from home, the lines between work and home life get blurred real easy. So it's easy. It's easy just to fall into that just constant cycle of just working all the time. So being able to just be like, okay, these are my breaks. This is my personal time, the same as you would if you're at a job. They had mandated breaks at
Well,
the
that
last place.
it's illegal.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Yeah.
It's illegal to not take breaks. And
Look, if you're working for a corporation, it is. If you're a self-employed or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
but you're doing it all. So you're
you
not.
push through. And I
No one
always
gives
say,
no one gives a shit about your work health and safety when you're the boss.
and you'll know your truth and what you need on this, because there's so much amazing content out there at the moment. There's lots of things. Like, I love human design. So, and if I had $1 for every time right now someone asked me my chart, I'm a projector, splenic.
Hi, I'm a LCD. 4K.
But I know that a lot of people are like, oh, no, I can only do this. They tie themselves to this real big identity of, oh, I can only do this because I am a insert, current trend identity crisis here.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm always like, no, I just live life according to.
It sounds like this. Sorry.
I live life according to where I'm at. And right now, I'm in a busy season. You might be in a more relaxed season. So take more breaks. Like, enjoy it all a little bit more.
I love the people that are like, I'm not going to do it this month because Mercury isn't retrograde. I don't even know what that means.
Mercury retrograde can be a bitch, though. I so understand. Okay, so
Yeah.
number 5 is, I'm going to switch them, keep a dedicated office space. So important.
I think we could just end that one there, though.
Truly.
Clear.
And this is really big. So, no, yeah, I know.
I'm just picturing like working on the toilet with your laptop.
Well,
like,
no, a lot of people, they work from the table
or the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which again, often, and you know this,
Yeah,
sometimes
look, that's-
when
yeah.
I get to like 6, 7 o'clock and I don't have to do a Zoom or something, a treat for me, I know this sounds wild to some people, is to actually take my laptop downstairs on the couch. So there's noise on in the background and I'm next to you,
Yeah.
but I'm still working. So I understand if that's what you do, later at night, but work hours, when you've maintained your regular hours and you've, got your schedule,
Yeah.
keep a dedicated office space. Because what I like is I've got my office. When I leave that door and I shut that door, it's like it's done.
Yeah.
Right? That's
But,
work.
You got to have a place where it's like you walk from basically your commute to work is like 5 meters. It's from the
That
bed.
door, if you're watching on YouTube, to that door.
Yeah, over there. So it's like, but having that place where you go in, you sit down, you close the door, and you know that, okay, now I'm at work when I'm in here.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely having a dedicated workspace. And some people like do it off site if you work from home. They go to share working spaces and stuff. I think that's great.
Yeah,
some people still
absolutely.
like to get dressed up like they're going to work. I think
Yeah.
that whole thing about, it's like the going to battle, right? You're putting on your armor, but if you go in an office, you're putting on the suit and the tie.
yeah.
Who was it? Where did I hear this? Guy Ritchie was on a podcast I listened to. He talks about why he always wears a suit, and it's that exact same reason. It's like putting
It's like
on
an anchor.
It's
Yeah.
putting on his armor to go to
Yeah.
when he goes to work. Anyway, so I don't want to get off the beaten track here, but leave home.
So final one,
Number 6. Leave home.
home. Again, this is something I wasn't great at, but I have definitely gotten way more phenomenal in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
So when you work for yourself or from home, you can just get into the drudgery, especially with kids. I think it's like, it's just a lot. And so you're working, shitting, eating, sleeping, schooling,
All that stuff, yeah.
everything from home. Now, obviously, for safety purposes, where it is COVID safe.
Well, we must have a new COVID.
You sorry. So, but leave home. And this is actually something that helps me so freaking much in my creative inspiration, in my resets, in my purpose, drive. Now when we leave home, often it can literally just be to go down to the pool to work.
Yeah.
Or to go and get a coffee, or we'll go and walk the beach first thing. But we absolutely always make sure that we leave home.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add to that?
Nah. I mean, what else am I going to say? Leave home. Make sure you come back. Don't do the old just going out to get a carton of milk and run out in your family. Okay? Oh, so there you go. The other part of leaving home is make sure you come back at some point. That's all I've got
Don't
to
get distracted.
Yeah, don't
go to the pub for just one.
Yeah.
This is so something we would do that.
I saw this note on the internet. It's like, dear baby, I've gone to the pub. Be back in 2 hours. If I'm not back in 2 hours, just read the top of this letter again.
Oh my God. Okay, so they are our 6 top tips
Yeah.
working effectively from home. Number 1, maintain regular hours. 2, get dressed and ready for the day. 3, set ground rules with people in your space. 4, schedule breaks. 5, keep a dedicated office space. And 6, leave home and come back.
Yeah. I'm sure your family will miss you at some point if you don't.
Zeus would miss us.
I don't think he would. If someone else removed and replaced us, he'd be fine.
Yeah.
But that's it, guys. Look, thanks for listening. A shorter one for this podcast, but we'll be back again real soon with another more. We've got a whole bunch more to come soon too.
Bye.
Bye.